All right, then. Welcome. We still don't really have a title. Welcome to our show, which is a cast on Dark Mushroom Media, which we don't have a name for.
Isn't it the Dark Mushroom Media podcast? Is that what you
No,
decided?
no, I think we went with Dark
Live,
Mushroom Media Presents.
live cast,
I just
Twitch
have it as
cast.
Livecast, right? Livecast the
Yeah,
cast,
live cast the cast.
featuring mushrooms.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, I am Tim. Above me there is Jose,
Hello?
and above him is Palmer.
Hey,
And we're just a bunch of assholes that like gaming and talking, so that's what we're doing.
That is
Okay,
correct.
let's start out with news. Palmer, you informed me earlier today that the new Resident Evil game does not have co-op for the PC version, whereas
No.
it does for console.
yeah,
Don't
That's-
understand the thought process behind that.
that's pretty shitty.
It's really shitty.
Yeah, I don't know what the Capcom came out and said there was like a reason for it, but it was like utter bullshit. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head. Let me check on that. Either way, it's ridiculous. Like you'd think PC would be the one place that you could have the co-op. Like
The
if
easy-
they're,
it has to be the easiest thing to implement it in.
uh, yeah,
I guess
don't know.
maybe if you do it for consoles first, just completely ignoring the PC aspect, but why the fuck would you do that? Because, best race.
So it says the PC version won't get an offline cooperative mode. Does that mean we can play through Steam, like online?
I don't think
that
there. I don't think there ever
couch?
wasn't supposed to be an online. It's not support local co-op. Players will need to switch between the characters to overcome AR partner.
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
no.
it's-
Apparently,
Really?
offline co-op is the only way. It doesn't say. It says either with an AI partner or offline co-op.
I can't think of it off the
So-
top of my head, but it's rare, but this does happen like, on occasion, and I just don't understand it every time. I'm really kind of annoyed because there was a game I liked that did this, but
Well, it's just like, well, the AI better be pretty damn good, because if you're going to rely on AI, then it had
Yeah,
better
but
be this
Resident
borderline.
Evil, they're pretty linear. I don't think you
Yeah,
need
yeah.
much halving or whatever the AI will do.
look, man,
Yeah.
Just shoot, aim and shoot, and store your items.
That's what I thought going into Kane and Lynch, and it was like the nom. It was the worst experience ever, so...
Well, 5 and 6 were fine with the AI.
I never played
It wasn't
6 with the, I
retarded.
played 5 with the AI. I haven't played 6 with the AI.
Five was all right. The AI still did some really stupid stuff in five.
Yeah, but forgivable, and it wasn't game breaking.
That's,
Like
that's true.
Army of Two. Like if you're waiting to get like a boost
Oh,
up to the
God.
second floor, your
Yeah,
partner dies. What the fuck are you gonna do?
yeah, that was
Just start up
that
there.
was just about a piece of shit.
I think I've tried to play like the first one and just played it for a few days. It was one of those like bought it used at GameStop type things.
Yeah,
and
that's
played
exactly
it
my
for and
thing.
I was just like, no, this is going right back to GameStop.
Like it got down to like $3, and I was like, I've been staring at this $3 game for like a year. I might as well try it. And god damn it, did I regret that?
Yeah. Regardless, like if local co-op is still an option for other things, you'd think it would be implemented on PC. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? You have one person using mouse and keyboard, the other using a gamepad.
Which is
And just
usually
go
how
to
it
town.
goes anyway. So
Yeah.
In the last 3 years, I've only played local co-op maybe once for Resident Evil 6. This thing doesn't seem to bother me much.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's still the problem that I have with it is it doesn't require any servers because none of it's online. It's all local. So if it's going to be on consoles, why wouldn't they just have the feature in the PC version? It just feels like it's one feature that the advantage would be to purchase it on consoles over PC because you're not losing a feature if you pay the full price for this game, like that other things have.
So do you
It's
think
just-
there was a
it's
focus on
your product
console
PC.
and
What's
they
that?
just can't port it? Do you think there was just they were doing it for console mainly and they just can't port all of the features in? And so like they're like, we're making a decision to not include blah, blah, blah. But they just couldn't figure it out.
historically, Capcom has not been good with PC ports. Going back to like Lost Planet or fucking the Street Fighters. Actually, I think the last couple iterations of Street Fighter were okay on PC, but originally it wasn't good. Just Capcom in general, not very good with PC stuff. Most of their somewhat older titles still use Game for Windows Live, and they kind of were like, we'll patch it. I think they said they were going to patch Resident Evil 5 and a couple other things, Dead Rising 2, a couple other things, but they're, generally speaking, not very good on the PC platform.
Yeah, I don't know. I've honestly, the only Capcom PC games I've played are Resident Evil 4 and the first Resident Evil, what is it, Revelations?
Never got into Lost Planet?
I almost bought Lost Planet 3 because it was on sale. Like,
it's supposed to be the worst of the series.
I played Lost Planet 1 on Xbox, but I've never played the second or third one.
The second one is surprisingly racist in like a jolly kind of way.
How are you a jolly?
Like, cause there's like this like there's one gang of like basically Mexicans, and they're like, "Hey, orderly Holmes," and they're like just chasing around doing Mexican things. And part of you is like, "What the fuck am I doing?" And another part of you is like, "This is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life."
Have we discussed this before? Like the weird like Mexican or Hispanic Marines in Halo 1 that no one seems to remember? Like, you'd all like the random dudes around Master Chief, they'd like say random stereotypical like weird Hispanic things, and I'm the only one that has memories of this happening.
No, that does ring a few bells with me. It's kind of David Cross kind of overloaded all the other background dialogue in those games, though. Because every time I hear the David Cross Marine, I just fucking lose my shit. In the best
I'm getting to the point where just like all my memories of Master Chief are just slowly getting flushed down the toilet.
Broken.
Because Bro Shooter 2015. God damn it, I hate those. I hate those stupid friggin' team greetings and team like boasts. I guess I don't know. It's so dumb.
We're gonna get into that. That's gonna be a fucking 30-minute rant on my end.
God.
All right. Other news. Oh, we talked about it yesterday, but no one wants, so we can talk about it again. The Order came out, and it was kind of. It caught a lot of shit for apparently being a 5-hour long campaign, which is subjective. We kind of talked about it yesterday. You know, it doesn't necessarily. You can't really put a monetary value on something you really enjoy, but you know, 5 hours is kind of long. But I discovered on Reddit as I was passing out last night, the entire game can be completed in under 90 minutes if you take out all the QuickTime events and cutscenes.
Okay, but there's cutscenes and
I know, but
that's part of the experience.
They set out to make a linear story. Like I don't. I
feel like 90 minutes of gameplay is just a little fucking short.
It's like it's one of those things. It's like take Metal Gear Solid 4 for instance. People, I think like there's something ridiculous like 10 hours of cutscenes in that game. Like it's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. But like some people like rank that amongst like one of the best video games they've ever played. That thing got like 10s like across the board when it came out. And like it's one of those things where like there's actually not that much gameplay in Metal Gear Solid. I think it's just like 4 hours or something, and the rest is all cutscenes. But like some people really enjoy an experience like that, and I think the developer in this case has been very straightforward when they've been everything they've said about this game. They're constantly saying this is going to be a story focused, third-person shooter, and like that. Like when you take something like that and you're trying to create something as linear and as powerful as the type of story that they're going for, they're basically trying to capture a cinematic experience. Like the other day, my big problem with this is there's so many other games that are that length that nobody really cared. Like the what is it? Damn it! I just played it the other day. I don't know. There's just plenty of other like games out there that are only that length, and you don't really hear there's not a whole lot of hullabaloo about it. I mean, honestly, I don't think I would pay $60 for it personally, and so I can understand that like maybe it should have been released as like a budget title, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of screenshots from it. And like for instance on Reddit, I think it was either earlier today or maybe yesterday, there was just a bunch of screenshots of the lighting in that game.
The game's
and
fucking
it's
gorgeous.
incredible.
Yeah, there's no argument with that. It's probably the best looking console game I've ever seen.
I don't know, dude. That lighting probably borderlines on some of the best lighting I've ever seen in a video game. Period. It's just very well done. So it's like I don't know. They were saying this is supposed to be a cinematic experience. That's exactly what they created. I don't understand why everybody's so upset about that. If it really bugs you that much, like, just don't buy the game.
Yeah, don't support the developers. We also
go ahead.
Fuck, you completely derailed me. So you go.
God damn it, Tim.
See what happens.
But yeah, like I don't know. just wait. It'll be down in price in like 3 months. Buy it when it's $30. Buy it when it's $20.
Yeah, that's generally what I like to do with. Like 90 minutes is a little fucking short, but like we were talking yesterday. I do generally like games nowadays, like first-person shooters or action adventure games, shit of that ilk that only runs 4 or 6 hours. Something I can play over a weekend while I do whatever in conjunction to my other gaming or whatever the fuck.
Mhm.
So
Like the Metacritic score for the game is 66, and the user score is 6.8. And it seems like everyone who gave it a lukewarm to like low ratings, it's all about the shortness of the game. And everyone who gives it an 80 or above is about the
gaming community in
narrative.
general will just harp on fucking a negative about a game, like to the umpteenth degree. So I'm absolutely with you in like, what the fuck are they should have known what they were getting into. Otherwise, don't fucking pre-order. But
I mean,
About where?
yeah, it's getting to the point where like I really just don't
10 out of 10.
I don't feel any sympathy for these people that are complaining about these things. It's like, all right, if you haven't learned after last year not to pre-order a game or not to do your research on a game before you pick it up, it's your own damn fault.
yeah, I still think it's fine to pre-order games if you like have faith in the developer or the IP or whatever.
Yeah, but that's getting that's becoming a
Then-
small
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
smaller
absolutely.
pool.
The gaming industry is kind of shit in the bed as of late, but like there's still stuff worth pre-ordering if it's something you're going to play and enjoy.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, I just feel like even with that, if it's something that you're going to play and enjoy, it's just getting to the point where it's just like, well, why not just wait? You don't like for instance something like Far Cry. I loved Far Cry 3. I absolutely loved it. Like it's probably one of my favorite games of 2012. I think is when it was released. But like Far Cry 4 had a lot of issues when that game got released, and it's still got like some really bad DRM on it. So I'm not very interested in picking it up. Like it was something that normally I would have pre-ordered, but it was an instance where I just needed to wait and see what happened. And so like I'm still not going to pick up that game until it's like $15, just because of all the problems I've read. Even if they have been fixed, it's just a matter of doing research at this point.
And Ubisoft in general is one of those developers that hasn't been very good with releasing games as of late.
Yeah, that's true. That's that, man. Yeah, last year I was so excited for the new Rainbow Six and the Division, and after last year, man, I'm still excited for them, and I still hope they turn out very well. But
Maybe they just phoned it in for these games, and they're putting all their effort into these upcoming ones.
and that's a possibility. I mean, that could very well be the case. All major publishers and developers have fumbles, and I mean, at one point, EA was the one getting shat on all the time. They've done some things to fix their public image. So I don't know.
Client's more stable than Steam now.
Yeah, I know, dude. Like Origin.
GG,
What?
Valvo. Oh yeah,
Origin
Origin's
is
much more
what it
stable
is.
than Steam. We were fucking playing last night, and Steam crapped out, and we got popped out of the game and had to replay fucking Sniper Olympics.
But that was on us.
No, that was on
It was a
Steam.
scheduled maintenance.
Oh, what? Well, still,
Yeah,
still.
if we had done our homework
Fuck
and not
homework.
pre-ordered playing the game,
Speaking of like pre-ordering and shit like that, something I've been noticing lately: collector's editions seem to be falling off, and I assume it just has to be due to the rise of digital distribution. But I don't know. I haven't bought a collector's edition in years at this point.
I recently picked up a I just went on a tangent about how you shouldn't pre-order things, but fuck you, it's Mortal Kombat. And the collector's edition for Mortal Kombat has like a legit fucking statue with it of Scorpion. And it is awesome, and I threw down the money for that, mainly because like fuck it, if the game's awful, I still have that wicked statue.
Well, again,
dude.
it's a series you're familiar with, and the past few Mortal Kombat games haven't had any terrible launches or haven't been buggy to hell. So
Right,
fuck
right,
it.
yeah. I know they're gonna charge out the ass for characters once.
Oh,
it's
God,
released.
yeah.
Every fighting game does that.
Bend
at this
over,
point.
Palmer. GG.
I just no. Well, like I waited in the last Mortal Kombat until they were all on sale, and picked them up that way. But yeah, man, like I'm super excited for that collector's edition. That thing is really awesome. I was so impressed with it. I was just like, this is one of the best collector's editions I've seen in a really long time.
I think the
The
last
last
edition.
collector's edition I got was for Fable 2. It was supposed to come with a little Hob figurine and a bunch of tarot cards. And last minute they were like, psych, nah, you don't want this stuff. No one wants this stuff. So like they canceled the limited edition or whatever.
Didn't you pick up the?
What? Really?
Yeah, it was supposed to come with a bunch of cool shit, but like
It must not have gotten very many like pre-orders or something. The only reason I
the
can think of
forums
is
were
like,
all crazy about it.
well, I mean, they're forums. That's kind of a.
That's
it's like
at least 1,000 people.
Yeah, okay, so 1,000 sales. I don't think is going to warrant them mass manufacturing a collector's edition.
I
I
thought
don't
you
know.
got
But
the
it's just
collector's
those weird
edition
promises
of Record of
before
Aggro
they
Sport.
before they even like shipped or any of that. Like it was just those weird promises that they gave. It reminded me a lot of what the what's his name? The guy that had Lionhead, the guy who made all these false promises and like never delivered. Fuck, what's his name?
Oh,
I don't remember his name.
gosh, why can't I either? He's actually he got
Fable,
into more
Goddess.
trouble. Peter Molyneux.
Peter Molyneux, yeah.
Yeah. He actually just got into like some more trouble because of his cube nonsense.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't that end like a while back?
Yeah, it did, but like the guy who like the person that won it like was supposed to be put into this Goddess game, and now there's like no, I don't know. Apparently, Goddess just like isn't even.
You're
coming
right.
out.
I have heard about that.
That game is
let me
so
look it up.
fucked. Like, they just.
I think it was
promised so
something
much.
like he abandoned.
But he does that every single.
I know,
freaking
I know. It's becoming like a running joke now.
Yeah, it's
he,
just ridiculous.
He abandoned like developing it for PC and moved to like mobile. I think.
Yeah, it's all on like iOS now. Like,
Oh,
I
and
mean,
it was
like, you know, that's-
okay. It was a Kickstarter campaign. First of all, and there's no like real product. It's just like things that they're working on. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Peter Molyneux is just. In some recent interview that I read with him, he said he can't even promise the game's going to be finished. I read that and I was just like, I don't know. Like, I really respect the man. Like, Populist was awesome. The first Fable was pretty good. You know, like, he's made some real. Like, I never played Black and White, but I've heard really good things. Yeah, I've heard really good things about that. So I mean, it's not like I don't respect the man. He definitely created some genuinely great games, but I don't know. It's getting to the point where he's kind of just a mockery of himself these days. He just promises so much. He never gets anything right. Everything that he promises, maybe a quarter of those features will actually be implemented.
So he just better promise the world.
Yeah, pretty
and hope
much.
a quarter of that also stuff shits up.
Yeah, well, no, so people will still be disappointed because he promised the world.
And only gave the moon.
Yeah, man, not even that, like a sliver of it.
An interesting thought on that note. If Half-Life 3 were to ever actually fucking release, there's no chance in hell it could live up to the hype that it's just been. It's a freight train of hype that started like
Isn't
in
it just like
2004.
kind of ironic hype at this point?
I think it went from hype to ironic hype back to hype, and it's some weird mutant creature now.
Did something happen recently? Like
No, that's the
News
thing.
of it?
Nothing's happened recently in a decade. Well, no, they put out the episodes, but I mean, it's a situation where I don't see the game.
I don't know. But what is it? The PlayStation has one of those too. The Last Guardian, man. They promised that game was going to come out on PS3 when close to when the PS3 launched. They said that game was coming out, and they are still swear to God that game is coming out, and it's coming out on PS4 now.
the person leading, like the director or whoever, like is in charge of that. I think he either left or abandoned the game and started working on something else. Then they put it on indefinite hiatus, and then something else happened to the game.
Shuhei
probably
Yoshida,
fact check myself.
the CEO of PlayStation, still swears up and down. Like any interview he does, he's like, "No, that game is coming out," in like a weird Japanese voice. And it's great. He's an interesting person, that Shuhei Yoshida.
speaking of consoles, what are your, like, 2015, well, what do you... I got my Xbox, 2 months ago, about 3 months ago, and after the first initial week or two, it's basically just become like a stream box for Twitch. That's all I use it for. Granted, the Master Chief Collection is broken as fuck, which was the reason I wanted an Xbox, so...
Jeez.
You know.
I was so excited for that.
Bit
I was
fucky.
so excited for that.
Still broken.
It's,
by the
it's
way.
still a
still
fucking
broken. Still a mess.
piece of
Really?
shit.
Still a fucking
Yeah.
mess. I checked.
Well, you guys remember I was going to get one to play Halo with you guys, but apparently
Can't do
online
it.
didn't work. Nothing works. I already have the games for my 360. I'm not going to buy it just to play single player
Yeah.
or even
No,
stripped down multiplayer.
You can't even really play single player. Like we were still running into issues
Yeah.
every single time we were trying to co-op.
Yeah, it was.
We'd play like maybe a half of a level and then something would shit itself. It was awful. It was awful, like genuinely awful.
It was
I couldn't
especially
believe
awful
it.
because we were playing games that like have special places in our hearts from like special periods in our lives, and Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, and we're just like, oh man, this is awesome. This looks amazing. It's like this is just fucking epic, and then all of a sudden the connection would drop, and we would just fucking a tirade of swears and racial slurs would follow.
I just like I was so mad, man. I was so mad. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Just how could you drop the ball on something like that? Something that they've been saying was going to be a really, really special thing. Like from the ground up, I was so excited for that. Like, and it wasn't just the re-release of like the second game that really had me going. It was just being able to play all of them,
All of them on one platform,
on
one
one
game.
disc. Yeah. And just be able to jump seamless. I thought, oh man, it'll be great. I can play one match of like Halo 2. I can play a match of Halo 3 if I want to. Shit, I can even play like a round of Halo 4, and it'll just cycle, and it'll be great, and people will just be bouncing around. And that is not at all what happened with that.
It's not even that they dropped the ball; it's that like they deflated it and like went home because it's still.
You guys got like a bunch of free swag, right?
Well, we're getting ODST, just the single player campaign. I thought they were gonna have Firefight in there, and I was like, oh man, like this will be great. And that's not. You can't even play Firefight with just like your friends.
To be
You
fair,
can't
that
play
is one of my
the
favorite Halo
Firefight game.
campaigns because it has like half of the cast of Firefly in it, and that alone is awesome. If I just want Reach, like I want them to fix it, and I want them to put Reach in.
It is going to be. I thought they said that it was going to be like 15
It's not in
months or something.
stone. It's not in stone, or unless something's changed. But like last I checked a few weeks ago, it was still kind of in the rumor mill.
Maybe it's just ODST I'm thinking of. What?
All right, so I just typed in Master Chief Collection still broken, and there's an article on Kotaku 2 days ago. The very last line of the article was, fun fact, the folks at developer 343 Industries created an achievement called Stick With It for players who stuck with the game. An achievement that's bugged and currently won't unlock. Jesus Christ.
That sums it up
That's-
perfectly.
That's incredible. Oh man, that is what it is. I guess I don't know what to say about that anymore. At this point, it's just you're beating a dead horse and then taking a shit on it.
And
Move on.
the thing that really stings is that the series is going in a fucking terrible direction. As you were mentioning earlier, the Broforce aspect of Halo Guardians.
Man,
This is
I can't.
It's a universe
doesn't add
that's built on
anything.
so much lore and so many novels and just fucking films and fucking novels, really, because there's fucking dozens of them at this point. And they're taking it in the Broforce direction, which is every time you start or finish, I can't remember if you start and finish or start or finish a multiplayer game, everyone's just high-fiving and bro-fisting and just grabbing each other's dicks. It's the worst thing ever.
It is definitely.
It's the whole thing about the Spartans where, like, they went through this grueling process and, like, half of them died when they were, like, fucking 10, and it was just this horrible fucking thing, and then they end up being these death machines. But now you just sign something and you go Broforce it up with your Broforce buddies and kill some aliens.
Just literally like high fives, like ass grabbing and shit is in this game.
And
It's just
people
like
are apparently
locked-
okay with it. That's what the community wants, Palmer. They asked for this.
It's true. People seem to really like these animations. I don't. It adds 45 seconds of shit that I just don't. I want to be able to skip.
It just
I
adds
want to be able to
unskippable
skip
shit.
it just adds unskippable bullshit cutscenes, and like it drives me up a wall. Like, and the worst part about it is like the rest of that was really like I was really enjoying the gameplay in that. Like I like the evolution. It feels natural. It still feels like Halo, but everything else is so like I'm just not.
It feels like Halo 4, just next more modern
Yeah,
version
it's
of
like
it.
the next-
I'm
the
okay.
next,
Yeah, I'm
like,
okay with that too. But just the Broforce aspect single-handedly ruined that franchise for me. It looks like.
I couldn't believe it. I was just like, well, this is just totally unnecessary. Just end the round. Just end it. I don't know. It's silly. The sad part is, after all this complaining, I'm sure I'll pick it up when it's like $30.
Oh, well, I mean, Palmer, if it's on sale, we can't be helped.
I'll be damned if I'm paying full price, though.
It's really depressing because it's like it's just hit that point where it's like, oh, well, I guess this series is kind of dicks now. It was like Bad Company 2. Like, I didn't really like 3. I like Battlefield 4. It's
Yeah.
okay. But Bad Company 2 was like the last, holy shit, this is an awesome Battlefield game. It's
We have
5
a
years
few-
ago now.
Guys, he's interested in us. Does anybody know anything about Phantom Dust?
Phantom Dust. It's something he
We have-
made up. He's just trying to derail us. I'm onto his shit.
What's Phantom Dust?
Is that the game for Xbox that they were supposed to make?
Let's see.
The card
Oh,
fighting
yeah,
game?
this is the card fighting game that they're remaking. That's
all
right.
I know about it. I know it was like canceled or something.
Was it? I thought it was still going.
I have no idea.
I
what
read
this
something
Phantom
on
Dust is.
Reddit. On
Really know a lot
Wiki it says
about
that it's still going, but I heard that the person who was leading the guy that brought back like the old games, like Blur Signal, that he like either left Microsoft or either like stopped working on that division. I don't know anything about it. I might be just talking out of my ass, but let me just look it up.
Yeah, it's like a card battling action game.
So
What I'm seeing. I've heard stuff about it, but honestly, like I never played the original. It doesn't really hold any sway with me, I guess. So I haven't really been paying that much attention to it. I really don't know how much we'll be able to talk about this. I will do some research though, and we can address it in maybe a later episode.
I don't know. Card games on a console doesn't, personally to me, doesn't really appeal to me. I'm okay. I'm in with Hearthstone now, but that's because I can play it on my tablet and do other things while I do that. It's not something I have to give my undivided attention to.
I played the hell was it? Magic 2012, I think, on PlayStation. It worked pretty well.
Games on Xbox back in the day, and I've played Hearthstone on PC. I just, for me personally, I'm at the point where card games I delegate to like a tablet.
It looks like this.
I'm not going to read the article, but it says the studio behind Phantom Dust reboot shuts down. So Google that if you want, bro.
Oh,
Viewer, bro.
is that new? I thought I
February
remembered.
17th, 2015.
Yeah. Yep. Employees let go. Severed ties. I bet something happened, huh?
You think everyone slept with the dude's wife? Who's Microsoft game division at this
I'm
point?
sure that's exactly what happened. I'm sure that's exactly what happened.
It's not that.
Absolutely nailed it, man. Darkside employees seem to be caught off guard by this turn of events. An employee speaking anonymously told Kotaku that executives who saw it were impressed and as late as this morning gave our team every indication that the project was on solid ground. Yet we got a phone call today that someone up on high, who in all likelihood wasn't even aware of the game in detail, shut it down. Huh. Well, that just I mean, it seemed like there was enough people excited about that. It seemed to be a pretty niche thing. I didn't really know a whole lot of people that even remembered or even played that game when it came out on Xbox. So it's pretty obscure, but I'd imagine that'll probably get like switched over to Kickstarter or something, don't you guys?
Mm,
For a console card game,
Maybe.
if they do like a PC version of it, maybe.
Hmm.
I just don't hear
I don't even know how the
Kickstarters
game
going over to
works.
console.
Well, yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it either. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Well, this guy left. So, anyways, moving on to the topics we were initially talking about.
His damage was done. So Bad
He
Company
pulled
2.
back the curtain and showed how ill-informed we were.
Yeah, seriously.
Bad Company 2 is the last great Battlefield game in my eyes. I liked, as far as Call of Duty goes, I think Modern Warfare was the pinnacle, but I didn't mind it up until like Black Ops. I thought Black Ops was the last like great Call of Duty game. Campaign-wise,
Which one had the Nuketown?
I think that was Black Ops, or like Black Ops, and then the second Black Ops, and then.
Okay, yeah, that was the best one. Period. End of
All right,
discussion.
sir.
Next up.
just slash thread. Yeah, I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed Advanced Warfare. I know you didn't, but I wouldn't say that's the best one I've ever played. I don't know. I still think it's 4, to be honest. The original Modern
You're right.
Warfare.
4 is the best one.
4 was
End of
fucking
discussion.
great. Yeah. End of Jose sounds like he's done with this
Addendum.
topic. On to the next one.
All right. Twitch.
You guys don't have to stop talking about it. I'm
Twitch
just
is
not confused.
still growing at a fucking constant rate, like a giant pooger with all the meat stacks.
Yeah, we're trying to get in some of those meat stacks.
Yeah, but keep in mind there was like controversy last year over the whole muting the audio thing in
What?
Muting the audio.
in music and shit and streams. Which at the time everyone was their jimmies were rustled, but it's kind of nice now because a lot more streams that I watch don't have shitty
There
music
are
playing
music
all the-
streams. I signed on to Twitch earlier, and the front page was it's called Mexican Brothers giving a concert from their bedroom. It was like 2 dudes playing guitar and singing like Spanish hits. It was interesting.
On Twitch,
I guess
really?
Twitch is also for gaming and music. Is that right?
They stream. It now streams people playing video game music. Basically.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's cool.
Not really my thing, but I guess it's cool that exists.
Like original video game music, or like
People
stuff
just,
there.
from what I've seen, it's just people performing live.
I haven't seen any of that kind of stuff. Granted, like all I really pay when I go to like videos and stuff, I'm searching by game, not really like anything else. I tend to just click on some game that I want to watch at that time and go to town. Watch one of the 2 live Diablo casters. Or something Dota related, I don't know.
I think the majority of people do that. Every other stream that's featured is like Dota or WoW or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is a lot of WoW. There's a lot of PvP on WoW.
I don't get that at all. That's like watching flies fuck to me. I don't understand why anyone would watch a fucking MMO. Even those stupid Korean ones where
Really?
you can be like a 12-year-old man, girl, child thing. Like, don't get it.
I don't know. PvP could be interesting to watch. I've seen some of it. Like I used to be into watching PvP videos back when I played a lot of WoW, but that was mainly because I was like trying to learn how to do things. Like I learned like back. I don't know. I played the game up until Wrath of the Lich King, I guess, and back in like vanilla WoW, Frost Mages used to be ridiculous. I learned a lot like on how to play and handle them from watching other people play those. Granted, at that point it was all just people recording with fucking fraps and uploading them to YouTube, and it was shitty, and their music choices were awful. And I remember watching one that just had like nothing but new Iron Maiden songs like at that time, like from their awful album that had just gotten released. It was just like I couldn't understand it, but I couldn't stop watching for some reason. It was a train wreck.
Just on that, subscription-based MMOs continue to fall to the wayside. personally, I think this is... I don't know if it's good, but I was never a fan of the subscription-based model.
My whole thought with the subscription-based model was always, all right, I don't mind paying a subscription fee, but don't charge me for an expansion. Like, my whole thing was, all right, I have no problem forking over for the vanilla game, and I have no problem paying a subscription fee, but all the content that is generated from there on out should be part of that subscription fee. And that was my whole stance with the whole thing.
It's reasonable.
But, you know, obviously nothing ever really got released that was like that. I mean, for a little while, Vanilla WoW had a whole lot... Like, I remember when Molten Core first opened up and, like, a Nub Iraq and stuff. Like, there were some really fucking awesome... you know, instances that were opening up that were like another act took 60 fucking people had to be coordinated. 60 goddamn people, dude. I would spend my fucking weekends just sitting there with some guy yelling at 60 fucking people over Ventrilo, and that's still mind-boggling to me. Like nothing has captured that kind of like a group activity on the fucking internet as much as Vanilla WoW did, dude. Like now it's like 20 people and people are like, "Oh yeah, we got to do this raid with 20." Fuck you, 60 people. 60 fucking people back in the day, dude.
That does seem like something that's not around very much anymore. Like that many people getting together to do that one particular thing.
The great thing about Vanilla WoW and all those awesome raids is that it spawned so many awesome like YouTube videos of like guild leaders losing their shit and like fucking people and then guild drama all recorded, all uploaded. I love watching all those fucking videos.
You fed on it. Like a virtual
Lived on it.
We got another viewer.
But the only... I mean, there have been a lot more since WoW, but the only big one was WoW, it's subscription-based MMO. And their expansions were pretty big, right? They were a big deal. They weren't just...
Yeah, they added a lot of content. They added a lot of content with
some
each expansion.
changed the landscape of the game, right? Like
yeah, completely. Actually, no. Okay, there were two that changed like the current landscape of the entire game. Yeah, because like war would happen, and so some area would be burned that wasn't burned before, and I don't know. It was really cool for the first like Burning Crusade had its really really awesome moments, and then. I don't know, Wrath of the Lich King kind of lost me, because that's where they just... I really, like, I don't mean it this way, but that's where they just nerfed it, like, casual gaming. As soon as they started dropping stuff to 20-man instances, I was just like, I just don't really... The appeal is gone. And, like, so many people stopped playing that game. That's really the only MMO that I've, like, really gotten into, though. I've never really had anything else. I tried to play Eve for a little while, but that ended up being a much different game than what I thought it was. And it lost me after the first month.
Space
but I haven't really...
Simulator.
Actually, no, I played a lot of Warhammer Online when that came out.
I never played.
I had a bunch of friends that
never did.
Never hooked up.
Yeah, mainly because you could level up from... That was the part that attracted me. It was from level 10 on, you could level up with PvP, and that was unheard of when that game got released. Like, you couldn't do that in WoW, and you couldn't do that in other MMOs. Now it's a pretty common thing. I'm pretty sure they even implemented it so you can level up in WoW now via PvP. Granted, it takes forever, but yeah.
So
I
in
mean,
South Park, they leveled up beating like what, boars or some shit.
Yeah, we got farm boars in the forest, man.
Mm-hmm.
Live to win.
Yeah, something like that. Fucking, but yeah, I don't know. It had really awesome PvP at the time, and that factor of it was very, very well done. The rest of that game was awful. Awful. Like, and they never fixed the servers. They never got the servers right. Like, I remember I figured, okay, it's just the first month, stopped playing it, and revisited it, like, ended up being, like, almost a year later. And I played the living shit out of it, and there were like events and stuff that were just supposed to be massive community events that just dragged lots of people into one area to come to take down something, and the servers would always shit themselves when they got more than like a couple thousand people in one area, or a couple hundred people in one area. I mean, I don't know. The game was very ambitious and didn't end up being what everybody thought it was going to be, or at least what I thought it was going to be. I know
Didn't
a
it
few
have
people.
like siege battles too?
Yeah, something
Where,
like that. Those weren't really implemented when the game first came out. I think those got released in like a later patch. So I don't have like a whole lot of experience with that, but I don't know. That was an interesting game. The only one. Let me think. I tried Age of Conan, and that game was just boobs. That was really the only.
Yeah, I tried
deal.
to get into that, and
yeah, the game exploded my old computer.
it did. I remember that.
And let me think.
Lord of the Rings Online.
I heard
Rock
really
out
good
for a
things
bit.
about
I
like
keep
the
meaning to go back to that because I like the free-to-play model's actually done decently.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That the model for that's actually really really good.
It's just at this point, it's very. I think they did upgrade the engine a little bit a few years ago, but it's pretty dated looking. But as far as like content goes and free-to-play model, it's fucking fantastic.
WoW is fucking dated looking, man. Like they're all fucking
WoW's
dated.
been dated
They
looking
updated
for like
all
a good
that.
decade.
Yeah, but I mean, it
They're
still
updating
looks
models.
dated. It still looks dated. Like I bought the new expansion and gave it a shot and played
Q
around with
Simulator.
it.
I remember
Huh?
that. Q Simulator.
Yeah, Jesus Christ! The first time I logged into that, 6,000 something people were in front of me in the queue, and the wait was like 3 hours. And I remember just being like, "Nope," and I uninstalled that game and didn't play it again for a really long time. Yeah, man, I was very frustrated by that. Immediately canceled my subscription. It was great. Told Blizzard what I thought of them. Gave them the what for.
All right. What else can be? I'd have thought. I think everyone, like our age, 20s or so. Well, I guess it doesn't really fucking matter age. We're a little older now. We're not exactly young bucks like we were 10 years ago. I was thinking back, like
Speak for yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forget. Jose is actually a 14-year-old Korean girl. If you couldn't tell through his webcam. I was thinking back in
That facial hair really
The
nails it.
perverts on chat rooms think. Sure
Yeah.
does.
I was thinking about some of the shit I loved playing as a kid and how it kind of translated to me playing shit as an adult. And I discovered side-scrollers. I have a fucking thing. I love side-scrollers. I don't care if they look graphically fucking 15 years old, if it's kind of a moronic game. As long as it's fun to play, it's something I really love fucking playing. And I guess that goes back to, like, the Mario-esque days.
Fucking Muffin Night. Enough said.
Oh, fuck. Muffin Night.
Go buy that bundle and just play Muffin Night. Fuck the rest of it. Fuck the rest of it and just play Muffin Night, dude. Muffin Night is one of the best. It has a unicorn it's a pride unicorn and it shits rainbows. I kid you not.
What was its name? Its name was like
Sir Poopsalot's pride unicorn, and it shits rainbows.
What the fuck?
Yes,
It
this
is
is a real
great.
thing. This is
It
absolutely
is
a real
great. Like hands down, one of the best games I've played this year.
fuck?
I'm not even kidding.
This doesn't look from our youth.
thing. No,
This looks awesome.
no, it doesn't. It looks.
It looks side scroller.
The fucking Bowels of Perdition is where that game came from.
Yeah, I don't know. Muffin Night, man. It's
awesome.
where it's at.
We actually might be streaming that on this channel if me and Paul
Yeah,
get
no.
toxic enough.
The co-op on that is going to be so much fun.
We're just gonna be screaming at each other inside of like 10 minutes. I predict it.
I'd watch that.
Who wouldn't? It's entertaining.
Yeah, Muffin. Like there's some really awesome other stuff in there, but Muffin Night. I saw the trailer for that on that bundle, and I was just like, man, this looks incredible. I don't know what to do with myself except play. I immediately installed it, like as I was talking to Tim and started playing it.
So it was originally a smartphone game? An app?
Oh, I have no idea.
Looks,
It's possible.
looks like-
it very much looks
It's
like
possible.
Yeah, it's Kotaku Gaming App of the Day, App Store App of the Week. Yep.
that. Well, man, if you thought it looked good on an app, you should see those updated Steam visuals.
That 1080p, man.
Jesus.
Friggin' amazing. Friggin' amazing.
What the fuck was I talking
Nice.
about before we went into Muffin Night? I had something.
Side scrollers.
Why was I talking about? Oh,
Side.
yeah, because I like side scrollers because it just harkens back to my youth, and that's also why I still like playing Twitch shooters. Like, fucking Wickland was the most recent one to come out. But shit like Doom or Blood, Rise of the Triad, shit like that. So I'm asking you two: is there any particular old, like maybe 90s or late 80s type of gameplay that you still like to go back to, even in a modern graphical setting?
Oh yeah, man.
Even
Oh,
though I
yeah.
haven't done it in forever, like any local co-op game where you can play with like 4 buddies, beat 'em up, side-scrolling,
Smash
whatever.
Brothers.
I'm all over that. No, like TMNT, like Ninja Turtles, or like Simpsons Arcade.
Oh,
Those sort of
man.
games.
Turtles in Time. I remember that game. Good lord. Good lord. I used to Chris Van Every and I. He had a copy of that game, and I had Killer Instinct. So we would switch. We traded that back and forth, left and right, like all the fucking time, dude. Like I would borrow that game, the TMNT arcade game, from him, like I don't know, every other weekend. It feels like I can't tell you how many times I've killed Shredder at the very end of that.
It's a hard toss-up between those two games. Like, I don't know which one I would favor, honestly. Because Killer Instinct is fucking Killer Instinct, but Turtles in Time, it's fucking Turtles
Yeah,
in Time.
but the Killer Instinct port on Super Nintendo was awful. Like
The original
that thing
game?
yeah, the one on Super NES, like the port from the arcade game, like that game ran at like 10 frames a second.
I don't remember it being that bad.
Yeah,
I
you
still
don't
have
really
my copy.
go back and try to play it. Go back and try to play
There's a
it.
Super Nintendo fucking 10 feet away from me, fuckhead. I will do it.
Do it.
I still have the CD. Do you remember the Killer Instinct CD you got? With like all the shitty soundtrack music?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I still have that. I don't know why. Or why I brought it up, but it's there.
It is definitely there.
My first experience was Killer Instinct Gold on 64.
So get the fuck out of here with that
I must
shit.
have- I must have
Arcade
missed out
cabinet
on
or Super Nintendo. Or
Shitty
bust.
frame
Dude,
rates.
Killer Instinct Gold was great. Like
Best game.
Saber
By
Wolf.
accident, I did an ultra combo, like Fatality. Just by chance, that I cemented it as my best game ever. I was like, oh, what's happening?
Yeah. The those like Saber Wolf used to be my go-to in that.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
Cool.
I don't know. There was some stupid cheese combo that he could do that was pretty much like 100% juggle combo. Like after you got it up and running, and I just would trounce I would take me 10, maybe 15 minutes to run through all the fucking like arcade mode and kill and defeat everybody. And he had that like stupid fatality thing that he did that where he just like darted around them and slashed them over and over again. Do you guys remember that? Yeah, dudes, he was my favorite character in that game. Still is. He's actually still pretty goddamn good in the Xbox One version.
A free game, right?
It's free to play Jago.
Pretty much one of the shittiest free-to-play models you've ever seen in your life.
Just charge you out the ass for every single fighter, unless you can catch it on sale.
Yeah,
where you can,
which is happening more. Like it's happened like twice in the past couple months, so that's happening more often. If you can get it on sale for like $50 for all that content, it's actually worth it.
yeah, because then you get all the future releases too. And it gives you like a ton of DLC, like in terms of like add-on content and stuff. It's just
all the cosmetics.
It is actually pretty worth it if you can manage to buy that at $50.
From what I know about the way the game works, it cycles different characters like every couple of weeks or something.
Yeah,
that you can play for free.
that's generally
It's
free-to-play
League Legends
fun.
model.
Yeah, League of Legends,
They-
Heroes of the Storms, shit like that.
I mean, well, for me, that's great because I don't play fighting games. I would if I did, I'd play very casually. So I'd pick it up every couple of weeks, and I'd have a new person to play with.
that's not a casual game. The AI on that is
It's all back forward punch, right? If it's anything like the old Killer Instinct.
Jesus,
Many buttons.
until they start screaming Ultra!
Yeah, the announcer just loses his shit.
Ultra! It is great. It's really satisfying when you manage to pull one of those off. Because that guy he should be in a death metal band, dude. He's just losing his mind.
They said they priced the model like that, I remember, because they wanted you to, like, kind of just get a feel for all the characters, but really like learn one or two characters at a time, and like stick with them for a while. And that was their reason for their price model, but I still think it's pretty fucking dicks. But I don't know if the Killer Instinct servers would still be around if they did only cosmetic stuff. Oh, maybe. I can't see them making fucking a shit ton of cash off selling characters, but what the fuck do I know? I'm just some asshole.
Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely an interesting game. If for nothing else, just to hear the guy scream Ultra at you, and not expect it at all, and then it's just, I don't know. After that, it's loses its appeal after the fifth time you've heard Ultra, and it starts becoming kind of irritating. What else we got on the list?
We're done. We're good.
Yeah?
We're golden. We've been going for almost an hour, so I think we can cut it here.
Okay.
We're
Well,
going to be doing this nightly.
We just had a viewer tune in that's actually communicating with us now.
Well, we can play off. We can play off him. What's he saying?
That it's cool that we're talking about Killer Instinct. Do you have anything you want us to talk about, Chunky Monkey 567?
Please, Mr. Monkey.
Sweet name.
Please, yeah, that is a pretty sweet name. I'm a little chilly.
We're doing well. We're doing well. How are you guys doing? Chunky Monkey wants to know.
It's a matter of it's a
Solid.
subjective opinion. I'm doing
Oh,
fantastic.
We got another one. Studio Maslar is back. How you doing? Now we have 3 streamers going, or 3 viewers.
It's like the 10th time today you've done that, you ignorant fuck.
Oh man.
Need to get a button or
Oh,
something.
this guy wants us to talk about Phantom Dust some more. Well, the studio got shut down.
GG.
That's what we researched. That's what we came across. Apparently, that game is not coming out anymore. The original one is something we never. I don't think any of us played. Right?
It's not ringing. I might have, but it's not ringing a bell. So
It was on. Did you?
I saw the cool trailer for, or like concept video
Yeah.
at like E3. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty sweet. Yeah, I don't know, man. It just apparently it got canceled. So that's really about all that there is to say about that. It's not coming out. I mean, it could be. It could end up being one of those things where it goes to a Kickstarter. We were actually talking about that for a little while, but I don't know. You never know with something like that, with a niche audience like that might be willing to support. It could go places. You really not sure.
I just don't personally. I don't see many Kickstarters being successful in the console market because
That's true.
you need to raise a little bit more money because fucking consoles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have
that's
to-
expensive dealing with PlayStation and Microsoft,
Yeah.
or Sony and Microsoft. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I thought Sony stopped charging people to at least indie developers. Maybe it was just indie developers. I'm sure they probably still charge AAA developers, but I don't know. Watch that be a thing that just switches over to PlayStation and the PlayStation audience just eats it up. That would be hilarious. But yeah, apparently the staff that was developing it had no idea it was coming. So who knows? Who knows? Apparently it only happened a couple days ago. So, anyways, if you're excited about that game, man, I'm sorry. Sorry to break that bad news to you. Chunky Monkey wants us to talk about the new upcoming Zelda. I don't really know a whole lot about it. I'm not much of a Nintendo person.
But you are a Zelda fanboy.
I'm a huge Zelda fanboy. I just haven't played on a Nintendo console aside from a DS in years. Obviously, I played the last. What was it?
Didn't you review a Zelda game like
Yeah, like last month, or not last month. I mean last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool game.
Oh, that was
Skyward
that was
Sword?
for the DS though, wasn't it?
Oh,
Yeah, it was. What, Phantom Hourglass?
No, I think-
Yeah, it was Phantom Hourglass. Yeah, I reviewed that. That was great. I really loved that game. But granted, it was just like a revisiting of Link to the Past. It was great. I mean, I was a huge fan of that, and I love those kinds of experiences. I still have yet to really have anything that justifies a Wii U purchase for me. There might be. there might be something down the road that eventually really gets me on that bus, but until they drop the price on that, I really just don't. They come out with games that are awesome, but they're like the Nintendo games. There's nothing else coming out with, and it's like games come out on that system. I don't know, once every 4 months that are big, I guess, something like that. And I mean, it's just not enough of a reason to buy it. I'd rather wait until that console is on like super sale than pick it up when I have a whole library that I can check out.
I will say that the Wii U is something I do see myself picking up at some point in the future, as opposed to the Wii, just because Bayonetta and Mario Kart. Like I could deal with not getting a Wii, not playing Mario Kart on the Wii, but Bayonetta, I need that in my life. So
I was really excited for the new Zelda game because when the trailer was released, I think there was speculation that Link was a female, and like it was going to be like an open world game, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's awesome!" I'm interested, but then I think that was rumors or something.
Yeah, I agree with you, Studio. I feel like Nintendo really has alienated their core demographic. It's kind of a bizarre circumstance because like I'm one of those people on the far. I don't know if I would be left or right of the gaming community, but I'm on one of those people on the far side of something that really believes that Nintendo should just develop for other consoles. I don't know. I haven't bought a Nintendo home console since N64. I didn't get a GameCube. I didn't get a Wii. I'm probably not going to get a Wii U. But I love the DS. The DS is great. Like, I think the Vita does a few things better. But the DS in terms of games has me playing a lot. Yeah, as far as developing for other consoles, yeah, I would say it should be like Sega. Because I actually feel like they'd have a fan base that would continue to purchase their games regardless of what console it's on. So that's kind of my thing. What do you guys feel about it? How do you guys feel about Nintendo, whether or not they've alienated you?
Well, on that topic, I completely agree. I was like lined up outside GameStop when the Wii released. I was the first one to buy it. I got a fucking phone call from like Reggie Fils-Aimé, one of those robocalls on my fucking voicemail that I still have. It's like, hey, your fucking Wii is at your local GameStop. Come pick it up next month. Like, I still have that. I was all into it. I bought it. Every week I bought the newest Wii game. I've got like 150 Wii games. 140 of those games are fucking bullshit shovelware. I know, like,
That's
the
true.
Nintendo seal of approval bullshit that was it was known for in our youth. Completely out the window with the Wii. Like, National Geographic Prehistoric Monsters was a bullshit fucking like 286 game.
I mean, that sounds like a bullshit twist.
Agatha Christie's, and then there were none. It was, I bought all these games because I fucking love Nintendo. I love the Wii. I bought into everything. All the bullshit about their, groundbreaking, new controller that didn't work half the time.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what's made me not pick
until
up a
they
Wii.
incorporated the what is it, the Nunchuck Plus? When I played
the Wii Plus, that made it a little better.
Yeah.
And even then, the best game for that was the new bundle game, that the Wii Resort, whatever the fuck, the mini game compilation.
Gotcha.
No, I'm over Wii. I mean, I might get a Wii U for the new Zelda game because I do like the Zelda games. I missed out on the last couple because I didn't want to support Nintendo anymore. But I might come back on it. The Wii U looks fun. I've seen a lot of Let's Play channels that have a lot of fun playing the game. I like that, controller that's also monitor. That seems pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. I really like the concept of it. Just not willing to pay $300 for it. That's really the bottom line. I'm one of the $99 at the end of its life cycle. I will pick it up gladly and buy every single game that I ever wanted on it. But until that point, not so interested. We have Saved by Christ.
No,
that wants to know what is the best 64 game.
That's a fucking question.
That is a
Perfect
question.
Dark.
Perfect Dark.
No, Golden.
End of discussion.
Between Perfect Dark and GoldenEye every time.
I'm on Tim's side with this one.
Wait,
I really enjoyed
Battle
Dark,
Tanks.
but GoldenEye.
Battle Tanks, really?
Yeah.
Fuck,
Fuck
dude,
GoldenEye.
that is...
You guys remember Army Men, Sarge's Heroes?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
do.
loved that game.
Those
That game was
stupid
awesome.
green bastards.
those little green figurine guys, right? They were the main. They weren't like real army guys. They were like little army toys, right?
Yeah, they were army
Little-
men. They were little toy, like the plastic army men.
Yeah. Those things were, I don't know, they were great. And that game was great. Studio Master chimed in. He says Conker's Bad Fur Day. I loved the living
That
crap
was-
out of that
All right.
game.
Yeah, you're right. That's the best game.
I don't know, but I mean,
when
there's so
I
much
got to that
competition.
shit monster. When I got to that shit monster, dude, who didn't lose their mind on a singing poo monster, dude? That was great. That game was light
No,
years.
fuck that. Diddy Kong Racing.
Diddy Kong Racing?
game.
Fucking
Diddy Kong
really,
Racing,
dude?
best fucking game. Holy.
Jesus. Diddy Kong
Over Mario,
Racing.
dude, honestly.
Yeah, hell yeah. Holy shit, that's so
You
much
could
more
fly
fun
in
playing
Diddy
that
Kong. I
game.
remember you could fly in Diddy Kong. That was a thing.
You could
I just
fly,
remember
you
you
could
had-
fucking water, whatever. What do you call water driving?
Wait a minute. It was a launch
Waterboating?
game. Did you guys? What the fuck was the name of it? Blast Corps. Did you guys ever play Blast Corps?
It's not ringing a bell.
It was like one of the first games that came out of. Yeah, it came out in '97. It was a launch game for the 64, developed by Rare.
Pilot Wings. Pilot Wings was also.
Pilot Wings was
that was awesome.
dude. But I don't know. Honestly, like, I still like. There are times when I still play Super Mario 64. Like, I still have a save file that I pop on and jump. I mean, you guys know how I feel about that soundtrack. I think that soundtrack is one of the best soundtracks that has like ever been created. I listen to it on a regular basis.
I bought every game on the fucking virtual console on the Wii. That was a waste. I haven't touched that thing.
Oh, well, yeah, and it doesn't transfer over to Wii U, which is pretty.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I the same trap with PlayStation. I bought all the stuff digitally on PlayStation 3, and none of that stuff transferred over to PlayStation. So I don't know. It was just that was a mistake. I won't do that again. But let's see here. What else do we have? Chunky Monkey wants to know if we like creepypasta. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I tend to visit the Creepy Wiki pretty regularly.
It makes for good reading when you have insomnia because you're like, well, I'm not gonna fucking sleep anyway. Let's read about this fucking hanging ghost picture that's gonna like haunt my dreams for the next month.
For me, it's more of like okay, I'm taking a shit. I want something that's only going to take me 10 minutes to read, and I just get lost in some. And like the great part about that wiki site is the fact that like you can just get buried in like all the new stuff that gets released for that. And yeah, you have to trudge through some straight up garbage, but there's some really cool, well written stuff on there, especially the subreddit for that. I think it's just R Creepy. But there's some genuinely good stories put up on there too, that are actually pretty legitimately scary. Definitely made me feel uncomfortable. Let's see, what else do we have? Saved by Christ, yeah, playing Perfect Dark with bots is pretty legit. Let's see, Vapor Party. Let's see here. There's some game that Studio Maslar just linked to me. It's a Kickstarter project called. Let's see here. Studio Maslar, this link does not work.
I hope he sent you a virus. That would please me.
It's redirecting me. Maybe if you can pull up something for me on it, that'd be awesome. Let's see here. We got Saved by Christ asking us to chime in on the Telltale games. How do we feel about the Telltale games, guys?
I've only ever watched friends play it and watch their decisions, and I had a really fun time watching it. So.
And I did force Jose to buy like a whole bunch of them somewhat when he finally built his rig.
What are your favorites?
I've only played through I have. It's not Fables, is it? What is Wolf Among Us? I think.
Oh, the Wolf Among Us.
I've been meaning to play through that, but I've only actually played through both the Walking Dead's, and I personally would take both those games over the series because it's more in the it's actually supposed to take place in the universe of the comics. I think the Walking Dead comics is much better than the show. It's more darker, it's more gritty, it's more realistic. It's not people sitting around whining for 40 minutes until something happens. So I think they did that extremely well. Just saying.
They just need to have Carl just lose an eye. For fuck's sake.
No,
He just
the
needs
best
to lose an
Telltale
eye.
game is Jurassic Park.
Jurassic.
Right, shut
Yeah,
the
hell
fuck up! You're so
Best game.
stupid. Get
Best
the
fucking
fuck out of here. That game is awful. That's a broken piece of shit, dude. Like, I'm sorry. I don't normally chime off like that, but Jesus Christ, that game was horrible. Horrible.
I don't think. I think
I don't
he's
know
being
what
facetious.
it was about. There was one scene when
You're right about
you're on a roller coaster and a bunch of raptors just attack you. That quick time event scene was bullshit. Like, it was all broken. It didn't work. I was stuck on that for an hour. I probably was stuck on that longer than the actual game was.
Case in point. Jose's over here defending it. He's saying he's stuck on one part of it for an hour.
Oh, I wasn't serious. Fuck that game.
Jose is rarely serious.
Yeah, that game's awful. Yeah, I've only played Wolf Among Us in the first Walking Dead. I haven't even played the second Walking
The
Dead.
second Walking Dead is extremely fucking brutal. Like, there are some fucking scenes in that game that just fuck.
Yeah, well, that's not true. I played the first 2 episodes. What was it? 400 Days came out before that. I played that, and then I played.
400 Days was the bridge. Yeah, you played the first 2 episodes because I remember talking to you about it, about that one particular scene with the dog, which just fucking broke my dumb heart.
Dude. Yeah, dude, that scene was really bad. But like for me, like the Walking Dead series kind of felt like it got to the point where like the writers were just kind of like, you know what, we're gonna do everything we can to just break the player like emotionally.
Yeah, but I mean, it works for that setting because like that's the tone the comics have. Like, if you actually read the comics, it's just fucking this brutal, depressing thing, but you get attached to these characters and their fucking plight, so you just read on and you become very enthralled with it.
Right. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to jump into Game of Thrones or Borderlands. Both of them do interest me. I just I like to wait until they release all of them and then play them all.
I'm very much looking forward to the Game of Thrones one, but I'm probably going to wait until... I like to wait until the 4th episode comes out. That way I can be kind of lazy about playing through them, and by the time I'm done with episode 4 or 5 comes out.
Right. Let's see here. Chunky Monkey wants us to talk about Last of Us. And Studio Maslar, we'll get to the Crowfall thing. Give me a few minutes to read up on that while they're chatting away. The Last of Us, I think out of our group here, I'm probably the only one that's played The Last of Us.
You're the only one that's played The Last of Us.
I absolutely loved that game. That game was great. It's one of the best games of the last console generation.
Yeah, I will say that game alone almost... Like, to this day, I'm still like, maybe one day I'll go out and get a PS3 so I can play, like, Killzone, Drake's Uncharted, Fortune, and then Last of Us is the most recent of those PlayStation games where I was like, man, I'd really like to play that.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say it. It's just an amazing experience, and that's really what the game is. It's not even really so much of... It's one of those few games out there that it goes up there with Shadow of the Colossus and like a few others where those games weren't just games, they were experiences. They were something to really like be cherished from the get-go. And I mean, everything about that game was just absolutely stellar. The production values, the writing, the actual gameplay, even the multiplayer. That was one of the few games where a single-player experience has released a multiplayer that was incredible, like absolutely incredible. And I sincerely hope that with the second one they continue that multiplayer, because that multiplayer was great. Chunky Monkey, see you later, man. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit the follow button before you leave. We'd love to see you again. We do this nightly, so tune in later. Let's see here. Studio Maslar. The Studio Maslar says the Last of Us made me cry like a baby. Yeah, it definitely had its moments, man. That was something else.
I watched the intro to that game before the credits started rolling. I had to put the video on pause. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, dude, it's one of those, it really hits you, and that's not the only moment that does, dude. That game is just a series of gut punches. So, Saved by Christ wants to know the worst game you guys have bought and played. I'm going to let you guys take over on that while I do some research on Crowfall here so we can talk about that a little bit.
Worst, does it have, like, any particular game? Does it have to be, like, something I pre-ordered, or...
He doesn't really go into detail. He just said the all-time worst game you've bought and played.
All-time worst game? Oh! Deus Ex The Fall. Fuck that game and its fucking fuckery fuckhole.
I remember the review you did for that game.
I think I gave that game like a 3-4, and it should have... worse. Fuck no, I'm all fucking. My jimmies are rustled. Thank you, viewer.
What made it so bad?
It was initially a iOS game. Yeah, it was initially like a iOS game, and then they were. It was one of those games where it came up for iOS. Was like, yeah, I really like that series. I'd like to play it at some point. And then they announced, oh, we're going to be doing a Steam port of it. Oh, cool. We're going to be doing. They were going to update the graphics a little bit, add a little bit more content, polish it a little bit. Sounds awesome. I was working for the site at the time, and I was gonna review it for the site. And I'm like, all right, cool. It's $10 pre-order. How fucking bad can it be? It was that fucking bad. The game itself, about an hour. No, actually, I think it was about 3 or 4 hours long. But it was just a fucking mind-numbing drag through just glass balls things. It was fucking terrible. That's probably the worst game I was. Not really excited for. I was kind of just going through the motions with it, but that's probably one of the worst purchases I've ever made as a game. And now it's, of course, in all these like dollar bundles. So even if you want to play through it for, just shits and giggles and let's look at how bad this game is, I would not recommend doing that because the game is in fact that fucking bad. End rant.
Holy crap! You guys need to look into this Crowfall thing. This actually sounds incredible. Hold on, let me link this to you in Skype. Jose, what's the worst game you've ever?
Can't remember. Nothing recently. I mean, yeah, there have been some kind of games that I probably won't play again, but nothing I really regretted or got angry over. A little forgiving because
Jose
the games I'm really excited for.
He's like the Hulk, except reverse. He's reverse Hulk.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm going to say
the only
right
games
now.
I can think of is maybe games I spent my money on as a kid, and it wasn't up to what friends described it as.
Rex
whatever,
Nebular?
That is the best game ever. In fact, anyone who's watching the stream, go get it on Steam or GOG or whatever. Totally worth whatever the price tag is on it.
The admission cost for the glory.
Yeah, point and click adventure. It's naughty. It's old school. It's like fucking from the early 90s.
I think it's like 92.
An old Microprose game. It's the best.
I'm trying to think of one that I thought was just absolutely horrible. Can't think of anything off the top of my head either. I haven't really played anything where I've actually that's not true. Master Chief Collection was a huge regret.
Yeah, but that wasn't so much the game. Sorry, that wasn't so much the game. That was the broken aspect of it. Like, if it actually worked properly, that game would be fucking amazing.
What fuck argument was that? It's not the game. It's just that it's broken. If it actually worked,
it's the programming. It's not like the actual game itself.
that's
It's the servers and the computers with
intertwined
the
with
tubes
the
and
game
the internets.
experience.
Studio Maslar chimed in. He says the worst game that he's ever played is Castle Doctrine. Have you guys played that? I've never even heard of
I
that.
haven't heard of it.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, I can't say I've ever played that, man. But going back to this Crowfall thing, Studio.
Oh wait, no. My answer is 140 Wii games. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, there were a bunch of those. Those awful friggin' games. But yeah, Studio Maslar. Back to the Crowfall stuff. This game looks like it has potential to be something really special. I don't know. My experience with Kickstarter projects has been very wait and see. I would love to back projects, but there's just no real return on investment with that unless you're getting like a copy of the game or something like that. But the fact that it's already made over $600,000 in 2 days is pretty incredible. Their goal is 800,000, and yeah, they are more than well on their way to go. Apparently, it's being pitched as a Game of Thrones meets EVE Online.
Yeah, I've read that. That's interesting.
So basically, all player interactions in a certain realm or server affect the other servers, and wars between realms and servers are permanent. So whatever damage is done is like something that needs to get repaired. It changes seasons and changes the outcomes. That game is awful.
I remember that I worked at GameStop when that came out.
There's a whole lot of those. No, not Crash! Not Crash! I don't even know what that is, man.
Came with a mic. It's a singing game.
Is it?
This is just what was in arm's reach.
I don't like that this stuff is in arm's reach of you.
Yeah. Endless Ocean.
Blood
God,
Ocean.
Yeah, I feel like you should have just known by looking at some of these that these were going to be awful.
But I was blinded by my fucking Nintendo fanboy goggles. I like horse.
I guess. Let's see here. What else do we have here? Skyrim thoughts. Saved by
But then
Crisis
there's
chiming
awesome
in with
fucking
that.
game.
Skyrim is one of those games that like you will never ever be done with, just from all
Yeah.
the mods and
Yeah.
like
I beat it last
even
week.
the base game. I don't think I absolutely
Just-
haven't done everything in.
Great
Just
game.
the mods alone.
The Grudge. Get out of here with that.
On rails, or of course, I had to get it for every console.
Oh yeah, I think I have that.
This
for,
one
like, three.
surprisingly was fucking amazing.
Dragon Ball Z, Budokai Tenkaichi.
Those
And
have always been
on
good,
rail
though.
shooter. Pretty cool.
I actually remember when that game came out, like that was supposed to be awful. I read nothing but horrible reviews for that.
Really?
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Well, like I don't know. It seems like most critics tend to shit all over on-rail shooters, regardless.
I don't mind an on-rail shooter every now and then, just as a.
It was kind of like a masturbatory game. It was like, hey, remember this scene from this awesome game?
hmm
Here's another angle on it.
We've got some new viewers now. We're up to 6. Hey guys, all are welcome. Please chime in if there's any topics you want us to talk about. Let us know. We're coming towards the end of the show, so we're probably going to be wrapping up here. Around midnight. Sound good to everybody?
Also, great game.
Super,
Super
Swing
Swing
Golf.
That does.
Sounds
That
awful,
does-
Jose.
This one, surprisingly
awesome.
interesting.
I hear a lot of good things about Red Steel. Or back when it came out, I heard a lot of good things about Red Steel.
Well, they made a second one to that,
They
right?
did, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
apparently
they
the
did.
sequel was terrible, if I remember right.
Mhm.
That's from like my GameStop years. I remember all that shit, even though I never played any of it.
Let's see here.
Get out of here with that.
Oh, there's the Agatha Christie game. I feel like you should have legitimately known that was going to be bad, though, dude. Like, let's face facts.
I love Agatha Christie books.
Cooking Mama.
Cooking
He
Mama.
was really excited for that one, too.
Cooking Mama was something interesting, man. I don't know. It was. I played it on. The girl I was dating at the time, I bought her a DS and I bought Cooking Mama for her, and I played it a couple times. It was surprisingly addicting. What
This
is
game was
that?
pretty
Mario
cool.
Strikers. That's like the soccer.
Yeah.
Psyker. That sounds awesome. That's what we need. It's more Psyker games.
Psyker games need to exist.
What was the name of that fucking Dreamcast game? It was a fighting game. It was Psych Force 2023 or something like that. Is it ringing a bell with either of you?
No, it's not.
Oh god, it was
It's probably in
this.
this box.
Probably. It was like those old school Dragon Ball Z games where you like fly around in a box and you just beat the hell out of each other.
That sounds awful.
It was awesome for the time. I'm sure now if I played it I would hate it forever in eternity, but back then it was awesome. It's like Power Stone.
Power Stone. Jeez Louise, that's a game I haven't thought about in a
Dude,
really
that was
long
the
time.
shit back in the day.
Wow.
It was like Power Stone, Crazy Taxi, and like
You just brought up a whole like just blast of memories that I
The
just
Dreamcast era.
just forgot were even there, man.
I feel like the Dreamcast era didn't get enough love. Like it didn't get the amount of love it deserved. Would you stop putting crappy games on the mic on your webcam?
Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you?
He's a problem.
It's called Acme Arsenal. What do you expect? I don't know. I think he's just shitting on stuff to shit on stuff at this point. Let's see here. All right, so Studio
And the
Master.
greatest thing was it played GameCube games.
Yeah, that was an appealing factor to a Wii.
Studio
Games
Master.
like
Oh God, get out of my life. He's just not gonna stop with this. He's
No,
gonna
we
keep.
we need to ignore him at this point. That was actually
Oh,
supposedly a decent game.
This Studio Master are making a game called Chasm, and Chasm is apparently a Metroidvania type game, which sounds really
Metroid.
awesome to me. I really
It
love.
sounds familiar. That was
Sorry,
actually
Ken.
really good timing. Was that?
Not here to impress you.
That's all you want to do in life.
Definitely good pixel art. Looks pretty sweet. I haven't seen anything about this. You're linking me a whole bunch of stuff that I've never even like heard of, man. Like, this is awesome. Should definitely keep that up. Because I'm very interested in learning more about this kind of stuff. Is this a Kickstarter project? I don't know. Let me know in the chat if it is. Oh yeah, it is.
That's fighting game.
Funded with Kickstarter. When is this supposed to come out? This looks awesome. This guy is still watching your Wii games. Oh man.
It's like looking inside the mind of a serial killer.
Yeah, it's very much like that, actually. Very much like that. Chasm has been greenlit. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna have to...
That sounds really familiar.
I'm gonna have to keep my eye on that because that looks really interesting. Here, I'll link it in Skype.
Send it to me in Steam. I can't look at shit on Skype right now.
Yeah. Here. Do. Friends. I have friends.
Do you?
There you go. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Oh, this isn't at all what I thought it was.
Okay, he's saying it's
I like
supposed
the
to
art,
come first half of this year. They're saying it'll be out when it's done. Yeah, I mean, I can appreciate that mentality. They're shooting for the summer. Yeah, I'll definitely have to keep my eyes peeled for that one. That one looks like it could be pretty cool.
Oh,
Could
man,
be
that looks
cool. Hmm?
Chasm?
Yeah, did you watch the trailer? It's pretty legitimate. But yeah, I love these, like, the resurgence of all these pixel art games, man. Because some of it's getting really, really detailed.
It got kind of it got crappy for a while. I don't mind it now because a lot of them are roguelikes and they've kind of turned me. But like, there was a minute in gaming where just crappy, or relatively crappy, like 8-bit, 16-bit platformers were just being thrown on Steam, like almost on a daily basis. Not a daily, but I mean like 2 or 3 a week. It was getting pretty nonsensical. But now
Yeah.
they're all
That was kind
roguelikes,
of
and I'm
a-
okay with it.
Yeah, well,
thing
see,
with
like...
Flash games. Like if
Yeah,
you were
well-
over on Newgrounds for a while, like all these game remakes, that was like a big deal. 8-bit pixel versions of popular games or whatever. That was
All I remember from Newgrounds is those like horrible flash shooters where you had to take on like armies of snipers with I don't know, dude. Like I remember like one of them being like an homage to the trench coat nonsense and all the Columbine shit. I just remember some of those fucking Newgrounds games being like crazy, but I played the shit out of them. Also, Salad Fingers. That's about the only other thing that I remember from Newgrounds, man, because that was something. So, Saved by Chris wants to know the best game we played in our high school years. Halo 2, probably.
Yeah.
I played way too much Halo 2 in my high school years.
Honestly, I might go early on and do Diablo 2, because I went ham on that for a minute.
So did I. I didn't even think about that. Warcraft 3, I played a lot of that in high school
Yeah, 'cause
also.
I was out of high school by the time Halo 2 came out. I think.
Yeah, I think Halo 2 came out our junior year of high school.
Yeah, that's when I got the fuck out. So yeah, I'd say Diablo 2 and its expansion. I definitely lots of hours wasted on that.
Yeah, I did play a lot of just the Bale runs, man. All the Bale runs, just all the way to level fucking 95, and it was just
Warcraft 3
counting from
too,
95
actually.
to 99. Yeah.
Pretty much Blizzard is where my high school years were, just between Warcraft 3 and Diablo 2.
I would agree with that. I played a lot of Blizzard games back in those days, but that's when they were actually like really good. And not to say that they're bad now; they're just really changing their mentality, and it bothers me.
Yeah, it's bothersome. It certainly is.
2010 in high school, huh? We graduated. Well, I graduated in 05. Jose, you were the same year as us, right?
Yeah, he was Actually, no. Actually, he was a couple. We're a couple years older than Jose, so he probably
Oh.
08, I think maybe.
He's a 14-year-old Korean girl.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Yeah, something
No, I
like
think I was still rocking 64 games. Not because of that's when I was in high school, but I
Because
think
that would
I
make
was-
you an old man, and we wouldn't want that impression to come across.
that. No, not at all.
F-Zero.
Tim, you played Banner Saga, right?
Oh yeah,
What'd you think of Banner
I
Saga,
did
man?
like Banner Saga. I actually recently found out it's it's on the Amazon App Store. Like, I can get it for my Kindle, which I might do.
Yeah, it was on iPad. It was actually on sale the other day, if I remember right.
It's
and I-
something definitely worth grabbing if
Store.
it's on sale. It's a really great art style. It tells like an old fucking Viking era mythology type of story. There's giants and mythical creatures and dragons and magic. It's a good game. I think I got a good 12 hours out of it, something like that.
Really, it's that long?
I I'm looking now, but I want to say no, I got 9 hours out of it. But still, I mean, I think I picked it up for under $5 or whatever. But it's
Yeah,
it's something you should definitely pick up when it's on sale. It's got a really
That's
great art style, and they're doing a second one actually.
Huh. Yeah, it's supposed to be like a. I thought it was like initially supposed to be like an episodic thing.
Yeah, initially they were thinking about doing that, but I forget what happened. Something with production happened, and they were just like, "No, we're just gonna do a full game." The ending of it, it's not a terrible ending, but it's pretty open ended. There's actually 2 different endings you can choose from. And I forget which one the developer said they were going with, but they're both kind of like open, like what kind of happens now. So I am. It is something I will definitely check out when it comes out.
All right. Yeah, it's one of those games that I still have yet to play. So I think this is going to be probably the last question of the night. Saved by Christ wants us to chime in with the which is better in our opinion, Xbox or PlayStation. I feel like you guys are probably going to sit on the Xbox side of things. And I'm going to be on the PlayStation side of things,
Honestly,
especially with this console generation.
With this generation, I'm pretty neutral. Like, I have a Xbox One, but I don't really. Its interface is pretty crappy. The one game I was really looking forward to that was console exclusive for it is broken. So, as of last
Phantom Dust was canceled.
Phantom Dust was canceled. What the hell? Last generation, I'll absolutely say 360. Even though I will, I have no problem saying PlayStation had some amazing titles going for it. But just last generation for me, it was absolutely 360.
I'd agree with that.
But this generation,
Yeah.
I really don't care. Like, I'm just PC gaming. That's where I'm at with it.
Last generation, I was weird, man. I started off completely on the Xbox side of things, but by the time that the generation winded down, I was totally on board with the PlayStation side of things. I became a pretty big trophy hunter. I did a whole bunch of stuff for the trophies, and like I played stupid goddamn games just to earn platinum trophies on PlayStation.
I did the same thing on Xbox for achievements, and Jose did too. So I think all 3 of us did.
But yeah, I don't know. I started off kind of on the thing that got me onto the PlayStation side of things is my Xbox. The first one that I got, red ringed, had the red rings of death, and like it was the 3rd time that it had happened. And Microsoft said they wouldn't pay for it, or that I would have to pay for it now because it was out of warranty, and that was it for me. I did the towel trick, and took it into.
Idea though.
No. I did the towel trick, got it working, and took it into GameStop. I crossed my fingers, and it worked while he did the test on it. It worked while he did the test on it, and I traded that in and got a PlayStation 3, and. It wasn't until I lost touch with you guys for a while and like stopped playing Xbox completely for like a year, and then managed to pick up an Xbox 360 really, really cheap on Craigslist, and it was an Elite, and that one never died on me. And then from there on, it was kind of like a bounce between the two. But I still at that point had like a God of War 3 was what did it for me. I played that game at least 200 hours. I played that game multiple times, and I just absolutely loved it. And that was the thing that got me into PlayStation and got me into, I don't know how that whole ecosystem worked. and then it just it got to the point where like PlayStation exclusives was where it was at. Like Xbox definitely had like some really good games on it, but like a lot of the games that were coming out on Xbox were cross-platform, so I had no issues, playing a lot of the stuff that I wanted to play on Xbox on PS3, and yeah, I don't know. Heavy Rain came out. That game was incredible. Last of Us, obviously. Trying to think of like other stuff. I don't know. There were a few others. The Jack and Dexter collection. I played the hell out of that. Man, Sly Cooper collection. I played that. There were a lot of like. Oh, and then the remastered Team Ico and Shadows of the Colossus that got released for PlayStation 3. That was great.
Nice.
That was great. And I really enjoyed that console. In fact, like to you guys, I would say if you ever come across a PlayStation 3 for like dirt cheap on like eBay or something, like pick it up. Like it's
Yeah, like I said earlier, I'm eventually probably going to do that and pick up all these awesome games I missed out on. And a lot of the Xbox exclusive games eventually made their way onto PC and PlayStation. Like off the top of my head, Alan Wake. I think that got ported to PlayStation, but I know it got the PC port.
Yeah, it got to PC. That one was actually published by Microsoft, so that didn't end up happening. The only game that ended up being published by Microsoft initially that managed to go over to PlayStation was the original Mass Effect.
That's right. Yeah.
And they finally because EA bought the rights, I believe, and then they finally released it on PlayStation 3. And I remember when that came out, like I got that whole collection and played Mass Effect 1 and 2 and got the platinums in both and just lost my mind, dude. I was just like wallowing like a pig inside the Mass Effect universe, just unlocking trophies left and right. And then Mass Effect 3 came out and I played a lot of the multiplayer on PlayStation 3, but
what sucked is that my saves, I guess when it launched, Mass Effect 3 on 360, it wasn't up to snuff. Like a lot of the save file reading that transferred over, like it didn't really work.
Right.
So all the work I put into the first two games was kind of moot going into the third game because it like didn't know I was in a relationship with Liara. It didn't know I was like on the trail of like the Shadow Broker. What was it? The Conrad Werner series, like the arc, but like the finale, like it completely didn't read that. So there was a bunch of stuff that it missed out on, and then the ending was what really pissed me off. And so like I only play multiplayer on PC now. Like if I'm thinking maybe going back and replaying 3, have like the real gameplay that I wanted.
That's when I switched over to PC, and I now have all the Dragon Age and Mass Effect games on PC, but I've been very hesitant about firing them back up because of that exact reason. If I'm going to do it, I want to do it right. I have to start with 1. I have to play through everything, the DLC. I have to make the right decisions so I know which crew members live and die, and it's just a whole production.
What time are we going to start this tomorrow night? 10 p.m.?
I'm good with 10.
We can go sooner.
You want to go sooner? Well, we should try to make it a consistent time. So we can. I mean, like if you want to go sooner, just keep in mind. Let's try to keep it like when do you want to go? 9:30, 9 o'clock.
I say we just stick to 10. That way, if one of us is running late, that gives us enough time to kind of.
I'm fine with the 10 o'clock. We can just run 10 to
unless
midnight.
It's too late for either of you.
10 to midnight works for me, man.
10 to midnight.
Yeah, like well, that's what we're wrapping up with now. Because I mean, for a figure of the first hour, we're talking about stuff that we've got structured, and the last hour has been filled by people asking us questions. Man.
Yeah, that's actually we've been going for an hour and a half. I didn't realize we were going this long.
Yeah. So yeah, we're getting ready to wrap up. We're past our midnight mark, but we'll be back tomorrow night. Feel free to tune in, give us a follow. This has been the Dark Mushroom Media Cast. Tim, you have anything to wrap us off with?
No. Just follow us. Like Palmer said, we'll be going live at 10. Below us, where's my hand? There's my hand. Below the video are links to me, Palmer, and Jose's Twitch accounts, and we'll stream. Well, we're getting Jose to stream some interesting content, but
some